but it's like velvet.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Too bad we're not the same size.
I'm comfortable. The right sides of these sofas are totally worn out. It's like, boom, you sit in a hole. I don't know what's been going on in these places. All I've been doing is sitting.
Are we ready?
I'm ready. How you doing?
You rolling? Okay. Well, Gil, you know, I'm looking at you, and the first thing I see is that you have lost a tremendous amount of weight, haven't you?
22 pounds so far. I've got another 8 to go.
And this was obviously something you wanted to do.
Yeah, I felt my best weight is around 185, and I'd gotten up. Connie and I went on a honeymoon to Bora Bora, and I put about 10 or 15 pounds on, and went up to 215, and I decided that's ridiculous. I've got to get this off. So,
Difficult?
No, not really. It's just a question of altering my diet. You know, I have a very simple way of losing weight. I just don't eat any kind of sugar or any kind of white flour.
And that works for you, huh?
Very easily.
Yeah.
I knock it off. Let's see, I've lost this in about a month and a half.
And the other thing that I was going to say, and you've already said it, is that you got married since I saw you last.
Right, to Connie Selica.
Yes. You know, in this day and time, Gil, when people don't have to get married, why did you decide that you wanted to do that?
Well, I was pregnant, so we had to.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
No, we just felt that we wanted to commit ourselves to that kind of relationship, that we didn't want to just live together. And the funny thing I always notice is that everyone says, well, we got everything. It's as if we are married. And I always feel like, then why aren't you? I mean, what difference does a piece of paper make as far as living together or not? And it's just a question of saying, I would like to make that kind of commitment to you for the rest of my life. So that was what we both wanted to do.
That's great. I'm happy for you.
So am I.
Gil, when we first talked, and you were then going into Buck Rogers, you had made the movie, of course, but you were going into the TV series. I remember we talked a little bit about what this would do to your life and to your image as an actor. And has it turned out any differently than you thought it would?
Well, it's destroyed me as an actor, but no, I'm just kidding. It's made a difference as far as the privacy that I have, that I used to have before Buck was a series. And as far as acting goes, I find that offers come my way because of the show, because I'm better known. And you know, that's the story of this business. The more known a commodity you are, the more that they want to do business with you. So that's been a change. That was about it. And you know, I had the year under my belt of learning what it's like to shoot a series, the hours involved, and the discipline and the frustrations and all those things. So it was an interesting year, a very learning experience for me.
What are some of the frustrations?
Well, I spent the entire year, last year, fighting for better scripts and better storylines, shows with more substance to them, and never got them. I felt that overall last year that Buck Rogers was a very shallow show, that it never really attained the kind of stature and the kind of depth of characterization that it could have. And finally, it looks like this year, in the next coming season, we will have that, because I just finished reading the first script of the show, and it's a very exciting script and well written, and the characters are well fleshed out, and you care about how these people feel, and even the villains and the characters in the show, rather. You feel their point of view, and you want to see what happens. You want to see what happens when Buck and this arch villain, who's called Hawk, come together, and what happens between the two of them, and who's going to win. We have several new characters in the show. We have a new robot called Crichton, who will not replace Tweaky. He's actually replacing Dr. Theopolis. He was the module that Tweaky always carried around. And a lot of people felt it was kind of confusing, because no one really knew whether that was part of Tweaky or some other character. So they've taken him away and brought in this new character, Crichton, who will be Dr. Theopolis, and the character has been broadened. He's a very arrogant robot. He's so arrogant that he feels that it's impossible that human beings could have made him. And we have a new character called Dr. Goodfellow, who will be played by Wilfred Hyde-White, an excellent actor, and he's very excited about doing the role, and I'm very excited about working with him, because he is such a good actor. Dr. Goodfellow is kind of a zany, absent-minded professor type, which should be a lot of fun. We have Admiral Asimov, who's a direct descendant of Isaac Asimov, the famous 20th century science fiction writer. Of course, Wilma will be back, and as I said, Tweaky will be back. And Buck is no longer earthbound. He's now in space in search of the lost tribes of Earth, who are those people who, before the Holocaust, had gone off and colonized different planets around the galaxy. And then contact was lost with them because of the Holocaust and all the problems Earth had dealing with post-Holocaust times. So it's a much broader format, and again, finally, I feel that we're approaching Buck Rogers from the 360-degree periphery that I felt it always should be approached from, because it's, I mean, who knows what's going to happen 500 years from now, and in science fiction you have such a broad base to go on. Why narrow it down to cops and robbers in space, or whodunits, or whatever?
Do you have a lot of problems with the mechanical robots?
No, not really. Of course, Tweaky is not a real robot. He's there's a man inside named Felix Silla who I always felt added his body language gave Tweaky his charm and his personality over and above the voice that was laid in later. Crichton is a real robot, and we'll see how that works out next year. But he's supposed to be very, very active and very easily maneuvered.
Well,
So-
Gil, it's been fun having a chance to talk with you again.
Well, it's nice to see you again.
Continued good luck with Buck Rogers.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.